I thought it might be interesting to some of you to hear what I do to this bike to make it winter ready here in Finland. So I ride this bike throughout the year, so pretty much 12 months a year. And some changes are of course necessary for this kind of bike to be ready to ride here in the Finnish winter. So let's do those changes. I'll talk you through all the different things that I need for this bike in the winter time and maybe some other ideas and thoughts that I have along the way. So let's get cracking. Let's make this winter ready. This video is not gonna be a high production value video, but I thought I would talk you through all the changes that I do to this bike. And maybe it's interesting to some of you. The first thing is of course the tires. We can't really use these MT21s here in the winter time because it's snow and ice and these have no grip here. So let's get rid of these summer tires and swap on something more suitable. Alright, so now we just have to get those studded tires on these rims and try to do that with this Rabaconda street tire changer. With the dirt tires, it would be better to own the dirt tire setup, but I can only afford one of these, and this will do pretty much everything else except if you run mousses. So with the tube tire, you can still use this with the dirt bike tires, and you can still change tubeless street tires and street rims with this one too. So this is why I bought this version. We will do the job with this one. I think it's beneficial to take the valve stem out and remove the valve from the rim completely before you start doing pretty much anything else. Now we don't have any air in the tire, we can start removing the bead from the rim. It comes loose so easily. It's already out. Alright, that's it. It's probably easier to use soap and just spray the soap on, but right now I don't have it, so I'm just gonna use this grease. Don't be shy about it. Just put on a lot. I'm also gonna grease the duck head under and on top. Turn it to 6 o'clock and just keep the system in place with the strap. Makes things easier. This is not really a tutorial, but you can just hang around with me while we do this thing. Super easy. Plop. That's it. If you're running tubes, make sure that you're not gonna pinch the tube when you take this tire off. And repeat the process. I already took the valve stem out of the rim, so you're not gonna rip it off the inner tube. Just take that part very carefully out of there. Like so. And it's already out. Simple as that. Grease both sides. Right, the first lip is in. Now we just have to get the stem in the hole. It's always tricky. I have the helper tool somewhere, but I lost it, so I don't find it right now. When you get it to peak like that, just put the nut in there immediately so you don't lose it again. And it's in there. Like, if you're fast with this, you can probably do this in 5 minutes. But I'm a little bit careful not to break everything. But still, it's really fast to do this with this tire machine. Even with the tubes on this off-road tire, so makes it super easy. I'm pretty sure that you're not supposed to do that. But I've noticed that the ducktail tends to jam in the rim, so I just help it a little bit with the hammer and it comes out really nicely. Now we just pressurize the tire and see that it comes up into the bead normally. And for the rear tire, you just repeat the process. I'm a stickler when it comes to cleaning all the parts before assembly. It's very important that you don't get any sand or rocks inside the axle assembly on either end, as it will grind down your wheel bearings over time much faster than they should fail. This is a good time to test that your bearings move smoothly. Bearings should rotate smoothly without any weird jamming or side-to-side play. Also, lubricating the insides of the assembly is crucial, especially if you ride in the winter or do a lot of water crossings, etc. Water, salt and other debris will also grind down those precious bearings much faster. You might be saying, that's it, the bike is ready, but not quite. We still have one thing to do. Because winter here, especially in northern Finland, can and will be brutally cold. We have to think about the protecting ourselves from the weather. Quite a lot of you have been asking me what these mirrors are that I use on my handguards. And these are power mat mirrors. Because these take so much space, we kind of have to take these off during the winter time. They're just not gonna fit on top of those hand protectors that we're gonna install next, so these will have to go. That's it. Of course, these are plastic, so they're not gonna break, even if you're as clumsy as me. This is the Yoko hand protector that I use in the winter time. It's just gonna protect my hands from the direct wind that is brutal, especially when it's like minus 20 degrees outside. And it's gonna help the grip warmers that I have on the bike to work way better. I don't need any electronic gloves because I have these on the bike, so it makes riding a lot more fun. Of course, I'm gonna use winter gloves underneath these, and I'm gonna use my heated grips to give some extra boost to my fingers, but this is all you need. This is not expensive. You can buy a lot of different brands and they're gonna vary in cost, but I think these are like 20 euros or something, really affordable. And they fit most bikes pretty well. Basically, these just go directly on top of your normal protection. And depending on what kind of handguards you have, these will fit better or worse. I'm pretty sure these are not the best on the market, but because they are cheap, this is what I use. And I have all the controls free to use here. It is a little bit on my way if I want to use some of the, like the kill switch here, but it's still, it's possible. I've had sometimes these protectors that were really sloppy, but this stays in its form pretty nicely. So you can see that you can just easily put your hand in there, and even at speed you can take your hands off the steering and still get them back in there pretty easily. So if you buy a set of these for summer riding or winter riding or cold fall weather, buy ones that are pretty stiff here so they stay open. It's much more easy to use them that way. Because I have my bike in the warm and I start my bike at plus 20 degrees Celsius here inside, I don't need to run any special oils for the winter time. But if my bike would be outside, I would probably, for the harshest of weathers, go with something a little bit more runny, the oil quality. Not so thick as the summer oils tend to be. But even that's something most people don't do here in Finland, as far as I know. But if you want to be particular about it, you might go with the winter quality oils so that they're more runny when you start the bike in the cold. But if you have the bike inside like I do, you don't really have to do anything because the engine is going to be warm immediately when you start the bike, just like it is in the summertime. All the products that you saw in this video will be in the description, so check that. So that's pretty much it. I don't do anything crazy to this little bike to make it winter ready. Just protect yourself a little bit better than the summertime and make sure you have a decent set of tires to ride that Finnish winter. I hope you enjoyed this little update. Now the Honda is ready for the winter rides and weather is starting to be pretty good here in Finland. Not too cold, something like -10 in the coldest of days next 2 weeks, so that's pretty much perfect. But I will ride all the way down to -20, but after that it starts becoming a bit of a bit of a challenge. Put your questions in the comments if you have anything, and see you on the next videos, mostly about the NX 500. So subscribe to see that build and more videos about riding this in the wintertime. Bye.